folks. How you all doing? Hope you're keeping safe out there. Today, I was all set up to review the Legacy Needle Nose Transformer figure. All ready to go. Had everything set up. Just great figure. Was really going to look forward to reviewing it. And then suddenly there's a massive bombshell. Or a different Insectagon, I suppose. Oh god, that's the worst joke I've ever made. Anyway, most of you probably know, if you're in the UK, that the other day, I think it was either Thursday or Friday, either way, the store game, or the store named game, has been, as of late, putting Hasbro products down very reduced. If you're a Marvel Legends collector, you might have seen that not that long ago. They had the Renew Your Vows 2-pack and Venom and Null 2-pack for less than half of what they originally were. And they're not old sets, so that was an uproar. And not only that, but even more like recent figures that are still on the shelves, they've got for like less than half price. On their website they had, well they still do have actually, because it's up for pre-order. They're not actually shipping these particular two until end of the month, 31st. But the two in question being the Velocitron Collection Legacy Flop Galaxy Shuttle and Scourge, and they're like £24 each. That's ridiculous. That's less than half what they actually are in other stores at the moment. But that aside from them, those of course being very interesting things. No, the bombshell that dropped the other day was the Transformers Legacy Buzzworthy Bumblebee Lines Creatures Collide box set. A box set previously only really available from Hasbro Pulse and In-Demand Toys for like £100. And they had it for £15. £15. The Goldbug figure from that set alone sells for 70 or 80 quid. £15. As you can imagine, as soon as I saw the news, I was on there like a whippet. It didn't help that at the time I was 4 stories up in the air on a forklift, but luckily my brake was about to come on, so I just quickly turned the engine off and I had great signal from that high. So yeah, bing bang bosh, it was in my basket and I had it being sent to my local store. Luckily where some friends of mine work. And I thought, well, clearly this isn't going to go through. I'm going to do this, I'm going to get there, and they're going to go, oh, sorry, there was a mistake, can you please pay the balance? But no. About an hour or so later, the price changed on the website to £45, £44.99, something like that. But no, I wasn't charged any extra. This is ridiculous. And by the way, what's even more ridiculous is when I went to actually collect it, I got given a £5 voucher for actually going in and collect it, so it only cost me a tenner. So yeah, £2.50 per figure. Mental. But the question comes, how is this possible? Now, obviously, the price I paid was a mistake. But even with that, 45 quid is still pretty damn cheap for this set. That's only £12.25 a figure. No, that's not right. Oh, my £11.25 a figure. There we go. My maths teacher is turning in his grave. Yeah, either way, that's still really cheap. As I say, Goldbug, the evolved form in essence of Bumblebee.
Back? I'm better than ever! Look at this new paint job! I've gone beyond being just plain old Bumblebee. I'm a gold bug!
That you are, Bumblebee. So from now on, that's exactly who you'll be. Gold Bug.
Highly sought after figure. Uses that elusive Netflix VW Beetle Bumblebee mould with a new head. The same head that came with the Shattered Glass Goldbug, which used the old Earthrise Cliff Jumper body. But that figure, really sought after. Beautiful, by the way. Absolutely beautiful. But it's so cheap. And the question becomes, how is this possible? Because, as I said, it's not an isolated incident. You had Marvel Legends for less than half price. Legacy stuff like Galaxy Shuttle and Scourge and a few others, less than half price. What's it called? The G.I. Joe crossover with Megatron. That, admittedly, I don't think very good tank, which is like £100. Why? But that's down to 45 quid and ish. And I'm like, what's happening here? And there's only really a few possibilities. Either A, Game have sorted out a deal with Hasbro to get the stuff, I'm assuming stock that hasn't shipped or shifted. Maybe because it was too expensive. Because I'm really happy. £45 for those 4 figures, considering they were all repaints with only a few new heads, I reckon £45 is actually, a fair price. Similarly, the Legacy stuff, like £25 for Galaxy Shuttle, I'd have happily paid 30, considering it's a repaint of a figure that's already came out. I think it's a repaint of and a slight retool of the Astro Train from Siege. And Scourge, £24. Actually, it's £1 cheaper because he's not as painstakingly new, or brand spankingly new. That's the word. That's a really ridiculous price. But yet again, I think that's nearer what it's worth than the 50 some odd quid they both go for in most of the places at the moment. So yeah, it's really weird. I mean, I can imagine Game buying a load of excess stock, because admittedly some of the Marvel Legends figures they're selling are ones I know were peg warmers, but then there's also like some old ones that were really sought after, like Nightcrawler for people's X-Men collections. That's gone really quickly. The brand new waves are in there, some of them reduced as well. It's strange. So yeah, that's one possibility. They're buying Hasbro excess stock. Again, weird. Now they're going to think about it, because I'm pretty sure Scourge and Galaxy Shuttle, that Speedia 500 Velocitron, whatever it was, wave, was an exclusive to Smiths. So clearly they've got around that exclusivity. So, food for thought. Or there's also the possibility that Game have just bought these things and are just selling them on as loss leaders. Buying from Hasbro at wholesale prices and just letting us, passing on the savings to us, passing them on for what they paid for them, maybe. Because I must admit, a few people I know have bought these things, and while they've been on the website or been in the store, they've added more to their basket. They've bought more, so maybe Game is helping out the Transformers collector and screwing over the scalpers, which is always a good thing, by getting these high-end and sought-after things and selling them for a reasonable price. And, as I say, enticements to get people into the stores again, or onto the website and buying more of other things. I'd like to think that was it. I'd like to think a store was being both conscientious of, well, its own profits, because obviously people are going to buy more, but also not wanting to gouge customers by selling items for far more than they're really worth. Now, one thing I did actually find out the other day when I went to speak to my friends, and also went to another game where the husband of a friend of mine works, they both had a similar story of apparently someone up at head office keeps making mistakes. Apparently the reason that set was $14.99. Now, this is just what I've been told by friends who work at the company. I'm not going to name them, so this is the water cooler conversation that's gone around with them. Someone up at corporate keeps cocking up and putting the wrong figures in, and it appears that this set was $14.99 because he hit the 1 instead of the 4 on the email he sent saying what he wants the prices to be going forward, which I think is hilarious. I kind of hope it does that again in the future. But yeah, it's a strange time to be a Transformers or any sort of collector, really, because it's like Marvel Legends, Transformers, Lego sets are reduced, Star Wars stuff is reduced. They had the big Star Wars clone trooper, I think, I'm not a Star Wars fan-ish, helmet should be 150 quid, £45, it's mental. And it's also having a very strange, I think, knock-on effect to collectors, where suddenly your collection has dropped in value. So I think something people don't really discuss is, like, our collections are valuable. We put value on them because we think of what we paid for them. And I know a lot of us expect things to go down over time, while others increase in value as scarcity increases. But to suddenly have things that a year ago, maybe less than a year ago, were, it's a very expensive set, do I get it? It's got 3 figures, I'm not quite sure, but it's got one really great figure, do I spend £100 on it? Or do I go on eBay and pay scalper prices? Do I pay £80 for a figure on its own, 70 quid? No, I can go down to my local store and buy the set for half that, or if I was lucky, like 10% of that. And it, as I say, devalues kind of what we've got, because suddenly someone's looking at that shelf and thinking, I paid £100 for those guys and someone's only paid a tenner for them. It's like, I can understand the sting, but at the same time, really, really interesting. Like, I wasn't going to buy, I owned Scourge before, the Legacy version, and I passed him on, not because he was a bad figure, but because I have a pet rabbit, which is a nightmare on my on my finances, because he's an old boy with hay fever, bad eyes, and has to go to the vets quite often, so I needed to pay bills. Galaxy Shuttle, I like the idea. I never owned the Siege Astro Train mould. I was okay with the engineering of it. I didn't quite like the fact he was like 45, 50 quid. Same, by the same token, Galaxy Shuttle being like 55, maybe 60 quid in some places. I got no real attachment to the character. I like the colours on it, but I wasn't going to buy it for that price. But 25 quid, I can maybe shift some old figures, and I've suddenly got a pot I can then spend on these two leader class figures, which combined costs less than, well, any other leader out in Smith's or on another toy store shelves. It's really, really fantastic and just a brilliant position to be in. Because I had a thought earlier today where I realised I paid less for this exclusive box set of four fantastic figures, by the way. All the repaints are brilliant. The Toy Accurate Scorponok, love the colours. The Sky Wasp, which it should be called Parasite, but they lost the use of the name for some reason. Great repaint. Ransack, a great reuse of the kickback mould into another Insecticon. They're all great. Goldbug, though, Goldbug is one I wish I had, and he's a fantastic figure. But I paid less for them than if I'd walked into a toy store and tried buying Studio Series Wheelie. Consider that. Wheelie on his own, a core class figure, would have cost me more than these four fantastic deluxe class figures. And this is, as I say, a weird time to be in. So yeah, that's it, folks. Sorry, this is a bit of a weirdly rambly video, but as I said, I had a review planned, but suddenly this thing happened where the Transformers collecting community in the UK was suddenly thrown into turmoil, where things that were previously unattainable are now going for pocket money change. It's something I had to put out there. So yeah, if you've got any opinions on this, if you've got any ideas, if you just want to tell me to shut up and get back to reviewing, please leave a comment down below. Please like the video if you've somehow managed to make it all the way through to this point. And I assure you, next time normal service will resume, I will try and get that review of Needle Nose out. It's a fantastic figure, and I should have reviewed him earlier, and I promise I'll do it next week. Well, that's it, folks. Until next time, I want you all to stay safe, stay sane, and keep on rolling. And I'll see you all next time. Ta-da!